The state of Israel created a single state, which they call Israel, which is, we know because Amnesty International told us in our report, is an apartheid state, but it is a state that includes all historic Palestine from the river to the sea. When Palestinians talk about a single state from the river to the sea, Zionists like yourself, who had never 1 second supported the idea of a two-state solution when you could have, are up in arms. How dare they want a single state? When Israel has been actually creating a single state, when the Zionist movement created a single state with rights only for Jewish people at the expense of Palestinians, with millions of Palestinians living in, languishing in refugee camps, with people in the Gaza Strip being bombed on a regular basis for decades. This is not new. This savage genocidal attack that we're seeing right now in the Gaza Strip with thousands of civilians being killed is nothing new. You're talking about babies being burned and beheaded. What do you think happens to babies who are in buildings when these massive bombs fall on them? Do you not think their bodies disintegrate? Do you not think their heads are beheaded? And there are thousands of babies that have not yet been found because they're in the rubble suffocating to death because of policies that you support. So you have no right to talk about terrorism because you are a supporter of terrorism. Israel is the perpetrator of terrorism. Hamas is a legitimate resistance organization. Israel, Zionism, and people like yourself who support this terrorism, you are the supporter of terrorism. You are funders of terrorism, which is even worse. You provide material support to the genocide, the ethnic cleansing, and an apartheid state. You are no worse than those who supported apartheid in South Africa and other even worse regimes who committed genocide. Let me counter that. Are you prepared to call on Israel to release all thousands of political prisoners that it's holding? Are you prepared to condemn?
Not release terrorists, no. I'm not
prepared to condemn. Excuse me. Are you prepared to condemn Israel's vicious attacks against Gaza for decades and decades, murdering thousands upon thousands of civilians, using illegal phosphorus that burns children, burns women? I've got friends who have lost, I've just got notice today of a Palestinian friend of mine in Gaza who lost 29 family members. Are you willing to stand up now and condemn that? Because that is the source of the problem. The source of the problem is not the resistance of the Palestinians, who never had a military force, by the way. The source of the problem is the state of Israel that uses the most cutting edge weapons on the face of the earth, the most deadly weapons of the face of the earth to savagely massacre civilians, not only in the West Bank, not only in the Gaza Strip. They do it in the West Bank. They use other means to kill Palestinians in other places. But this latest attack, what we're seeing now, this savagery, this ongoing savagery with people like yourself, unashamedly say you support. You call this self-defense. Palestinian fighters are still fighting against the Israeli military, and Israel is massacring civilians. So obviously, the massacre of civilians is not affecting the Palestinians. Israel is massacring, and Israel is admitting, and Israeli prime minister and defense minister, they are admitting that they are murdering civilians. They are admitting that Palestinians deserve to die. What does it mean when the minister of defense says that they are all living animals or something? What does it mean when the prime minister says that they are Amalek? These are code words to justify murder of civilians. Don't interfere. Don't interrupt me. You're standing on a very, 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 very precarious moral argument right here. I'm telling you this right now. You are supporting one of the worst cases of murder of civilians we've seen in a very long time, which is what Israel is doing in the Gaza Strip. You have no right to ask me questions. You're the one that needs to be in defense here. You're the one that needs to explain how dare you support the state of Israel, which has been engaged in apartheid and which has been engaged over the last month with the most vicious, savage. And all this is really is not even a strategic attack. This is an act of revenge. It's an act of revenge. An act of revenge. Why are you interrupting me? This is an act of revenge by a military force that has been humiliated, because that's what happened on October the 7th. The Israeli military was humiliated. The state of Israel was shown to be nothing more but a paper tiger. And what we're seeing now, this savage slaughter of innocent people in Gaza, which you justify and the Israeli government justifies, this savage slaughter we're seeing now is an act of revenge. That's what we're seeing. And if you choose to deny, I'm not the one in denial here. I have been stating historical fact every single moment of this conversation.
Well, the mission
You are the one who is in denial. You're repeating lies. You're repeating lies that have been refuted recently, and you're repeating lies that have been refuted historically.
Did your father believe he was fighting
So
for
either
the
you need to
apartheid you
update your
Did your
education.
father believe he was
Either
fighting
you need to
for the
update your
apartheid state?
education.
Did
You
he?
need to update your education or
Did your
update the
father believe
lies.
he was
These
fighting for
lies.
the apartheid state?
Well, no, you're talking while I'm talking, so this pointless. You need to either update the lies because the Zionist lies are falling on deaf ears now, or you need to update your education. I don't know if you're a liar or if you're ignorant, but it's one of the two for sure. Because everything you've said over the last hour or so, you've repeated over and over and over again. The exact same lies. So you're either lying or you're ignorant. I'm not sure. I don't know you well enough. But I have been historical. I have been consistently stating historical fact. Things are well known, things that are well documented. And you are standing here, sitting here, trying to show the world, to pretend that this savagery against civilians in Gaza is somehow justified. Shame on you for either being ignorant or being a fool. I'm not sure which one.